Welcome to Unity Through Diversity. I am your host, Gina Anayana. Unity Through Diversity is a podcast where we acknowledge and celebrate individuals' unique soul gifts through each guest's personal story in order to empower and encourage you to recognize and reclaim the uniqueness in your own soul frequencies. So we, as a collective, can truly embrace unity through diversity in our life. Enjoy the podcast. All right, everybody, welcome to this episode of Unity Through Diversity. And today, I'm at a major skate shop in Bay City. And this is one of the recordings that I chose to do in, other people, not other people, in the guests, their place, their shop, because a lot of control elements in the recording. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
AJ,
it.
right?
Yes.
AJ,
yes.
Will you say hi to people and just introduce yourself a little bit, and then we can dive right into.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, hello everyone. My name is AJ Malenfant from Bay City, Michigan here. I'm the owner of Major Skate, and we're located downtown Bay City, right off Midland Street. We're on the corner of Lynn and John, and we offer a full-line skate shop and an indoor skate park for all the people and skaters of all ages. Okay,
perfect. Now, this is very interesting, okay, because actually I met you probably 2 or 3 times already, through Chamber. Right? And the first time you guys gave me, I was like, because we are in more a business meeting setting, right? Business meeting. And I was like, who are those people have the skateboard? And I was like, that would be fun if they call their name, they can skate, right to the front. But then, and I was actually talked to guys already. I was thinking about that. But you guys because it's carpet or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a good idea.
The plan was to ride.
Yeah. And I think at that time I already had name card of your business and also your employees that time. And I think I also gave my name card. And then second time, I was literally on the street just walking by, go to Lolo Beach. And I walked this way and I backwards a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. Is this the skate shop that I, talked? And I think I talked to, what's his name?
Ryan.
Ryan. Yep. And I told him about that. I was like, yeah, I want to do a podcast. And it was already my idea. I want to do a podcast at the time. But you were not there. And he said, oh, okay, reach out to AJ. And I was, okay, cool. And I forgot that. Time was not ready. And I met you again as a chamber again. I was, okay, this is time. So I'm glad I'm here. And to record this podcast and also share your story. And now let's back to what you do. I think I want to, let me get to that point. So it's very, how to say that? It's very interesting, and also there's a story, everybody has story. So you were in service, right?
Correct.
In the Army?
Yes.
For how many years?
In 2 weeks, it'll be 20 years. Yeah. I joined when I was 17 in high school as a junior in high school, and I went to basic training to my junior and my senior year. And I remember right before Christmas, it was like November, right around Thanksgiving time. I was like, Mom, I want to join the Army. Can you sign this permission slip, right? And I took her from November to December, and then January, I finally got the recruiter to come to the house, and they signed the papers, so I was able to sign that early.
So, okay, give us a little bit, because, again, I'm not from this country, and I shared it with you a little bit. To me, it's very fascinating. The whole process, because you know what? My dad was in service for a couple of years. Awesome. And as a girl, obviously, United States and China is very different. Mm-hmm. So when I was little, I still I feel like the feeling of wearing uniform. So I don't think, of course, this lifetime I was not in Army, but I feel like the familiar of the somehow that spirit, that the essence, the feeling is in my energy, and I was always want to be in Army, but I just couldn't, because my vision in China is if you go to Army, there are for different for different service you step in, they have different requirements, and since we probably have so many people in China, so they will filter you through so many things. So eyes is the first thing that I will be disqualified. So it's always kind of a little bit, I was like, whoa, I couldn't do that. So when I met you, I was like, there's so many different things to draw me to have this recording with you. And I think in this podcast, we're going to unfold why, okay? So first question, what made you to join the Army at first place? 17, Tell me about 20 years ago version of you. What were you thinking?
Well, lots of things through my head, but at the end of the day, I wanted to help people. I joined, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to help people get in and out and move and go see their families and get them out of situations, get them into situations, but I wanted to help people. And my grandfather had joined a long time ago, but I always wanted to say, okay, Army, because that's what my grandfather joined in. So I wanted to make him proud and make my family proud. So I wanted to join, and I knew that would help me to get to my bigger goal of helping people.
Yes. So how's your family's reaction at that time? Your mom, dad?
Oh, my mom was a nervous wreck. She did not want me to join, but my recruiter said, oh, the Girl Scouts will get deployed before he will. Yeah.
So the major reason your mom not say she against, I think she has her worry and concern because let's say it's your grandfather, which is her father, right?
Right, yes.
So because the reason I ask is I want to be acknowledged everybody's feeling where they come from. So what's her biggest reason at that time from your 17 years point of view at that time?
Well, I think ultimately I was just her baby boy,
How many, do you have siblings?
Yep, I have one older sister.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're the baby boy.
I'm the baby boy, and at that time, I believe my sister was still living in the house. I think she was, oh, no, that was my junior year. So yeah, she was already out. She had moved out of the house, but my mom has this set thing where she likes to teach you about responsibilities and managing a budget and getting a credit card and just having all those adult responsibilities that we know and love today. But she didn't get that chance with me, and so she felt like the Army took her little baby boy away, and she didn't get a chance to go over all of those things.
Well, so did she get a chance to complete up to get out of the Army?
Yes and no, because from there it was just go. I can talk about all these schools. I went to basic training, then back to high school, but then it was AIT, and then deployment 1, and then back, and then deployment 2, and then back, and then deployment 3, and then back. So really, by the time I really got to settle down and find my own, I'm already moved out of the house. I'm trying, I'm getting married, and I'm trying to just start my own self. So she still kind of felt like I never got to go over all those things with you, but it's worked out.
Everybody just have different way to grow up, right?
That's right.
That's the way that you chose, and that's
Everybody's
the way that
different.
she's collaborating, cooperating with you. So you basically is in and out, right?
Right.
Not. That's why I was I have so many questions. Not just in for 17 years. No,
right.
You're in and out. Okay. So during those in and out period of time, now when you look back, so how many years you've been out?
No, I'm still in. In 2 weeks, I'll finish my 20 years. Then I'll go probably for 25, maybe another 5, another 10.
So you'll continue being in
service? I'm still going to continue. Yes.
Wow, that's even better. So
yes.
Okay, now. Till now, almost 20 years, when you look back, I want to kind of dive into those moments that you feel some part really challenging. Because we are really speak something that, especially you are still in the service, there are certain things that a lot of veteran, people, they are not in the service, they are going through because of what they went through. So I want, we can talk about all the happy things, but
of course,
major part of this podcast that drawn to me is that it could through my angle through this podcast platform to interview people like you that obviously you have business here and you're still in service, that you actually manage their work, make your life worked. It's working.
Right.
Some people's life is not working. And we try to just lift people up, help people.
Of course.
And then hope and direct them some way that we could support and help, right? Podcast is helping people. That's why I'm here today too.
Love it.
Okay, so what are some things that you feel really challenging in the, all those years, 20 years?
It's a lot. There's so many different moments, and, just as much as I have uplifted others, and there has been times in training where you get someone that says, I'm gonna quit, I'm done, maybe the instructors are right, I'm not good enough to be here, and you say, no, just take a step back, take it one day at a time. And that's really the best thing, is because sometimes I needed to hear that too. Just as much as I said it, I needed to hear it.
Yes. They're
officer candidate school, CS is a very tough school, especially in phase 0, which is extreme yelling and
is that the first one that you get in? because you shared something at the chamber, and I was like, I want to hear more about that training because it sounds very demonized.
Well, no, that was, I think I talked about my second deployment there going into detainee operations because there's a lot of good stories with that one.
Yeah, back to the first one.
But I guess, so, and I'll touch base on that one as well.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm probably about mid to halfway to my career, or maybe like a quarter to a half into my career, and I decided to say, okay, I'm going to take my NCO rank, and I want to become an officer. So going from enlisted to officer, that means I'm a Mustanger because I'm enlisted first, and I go to the officer. So instead of my sergeant rank stripes, I get my gold bar. But that school is a very tough one, especially in Michigan, that phase 0, because you are hammered. They try to really stress you, and they try to limit your sleep, and then they limit your physical abilities, and they don't want you to think clear. They want you just to see what your reactions are. They want you to see what your leadership skills are, and they just want to see how you handle under stress. Yes. And that was a very difficult time because I was the first platoon sergeant. So like day one, they're like, you, Malenfant, you're it. I'm like, let's go. And so, of course, nobody knows what's going on. And now I get to deal with everything first. Like, I'm the first example, and it was rough. But I got through by saying, okay, I'm going to quit, but maybe after lunch. Okay, well, I'm going to quit, but after next break. Okay, after the next school. Okay, well, maybe we'll eat dinner. Okay, and then I'll quit. And then I'll go to sleep. I'll just quit in the morning. And every day I just got through that little bit by a little bit by a little bit.
Wow. You wanted that golden bar?
I wanted that gold bar bad. Oops.
That's
how bad I want it. It's okay. It's okay. Let it roll. Let it roll.
Well, we're talking about a golden bar, and the coffee is golden too. So
that's right. That's what I get. I talk with my hands a lot, so I should have saw that coming.
That's why you see I don't hold anything in my hands because I talk with hands. But for that golden bar, and I think it's really important. Not even a lot of time, not just in the army, in the service. I feel like in the daily life, a lot of time, like when you think about things ahead of you, you start to feel like this big dark cloud. It's just like eat you up. But I think you touched really, the important part is take moment by moment.
Yes.
People, that's why a lot of Muslim people ask me, what you going to do 2 months later? I was like, ask me 2 days later, I have no idea.
Right.
And my calendar usually also, like, because I don't like stress myself, it's not that I cannot take stress, but I choose to live my life in a way that I can utilize things, then not allow everything just come at once.
Right.
So, intentionally saying no, but I mean, in army, you can't really say no. You always say yes, sir, or yes,
right.
Yes,
correct.
What? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, no, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Okay, so that was really hard, but that moment mentality actually helped you to move step forward, right? And this is really challenging. What are other things that you feel like people want to quit, or things that is really a lot of things that I cannot even use words to describe because I'm not in, so I don't have words for it. But just give us some pictures. Like it's really hard for people now. In 20 years, you see so many people, you see so many young kids. Mm-hmm. Like when they quit, what are the major reasons when people choose to quit?
A lot of it is internal, and they try to deal with everything that they can by themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest takeaway for me is don't ever try to do something by yourself. Ask for help. Like if you are struggling or if you are having a hard time, ask for guidance, ask for support, because sometimes someone just listening to you, you might get the answer just by talking it out loud, or someone might have some really good advice because guess what? They've been through it too. That's the crazy thing. No one's done anything original. We have all gone through heartache. We've all gone through financial issues. We've all gone through like those kind of things. Some more than others and some harder than easier, but don't try to do it by yourself. I have seen a lot of relationship struggles because a lot of soldiers don't know how to manage a budget, and then you've got the spouse that's like really stressed about it and they don't understand why. Well, I'll just deal with it. I'll just fix it. You can't just fix it in your head. Yeah. Lay it out. Like, let's plan out your income. Let's look at your expenses, or it's just, you might have a soldier that is a very high speed, very energetic, very happy-go-lucky, and next thing you know, they're down. Like, well, what's wrong? Well, it turns out they're having a family event. Their mother's in the hospital, or maybe an aunt passed away, or something to that effect. And you have to be able to recognize that when you see somebody every day, you know what their reactions are, you know how their personality is. It's okay to ask, and if they say, "Well, it's fine," that doesn't mean that you can just stop the conversation there. You can ask, like, well, are you sure? Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Because a lot of the times people are going to shut you down on question one. But if they know you're really genuinely asking, because there's a difference of, hey, how you doing today? I know you're going to say good. Well, like, how you doing today? Okay, good. Or if good. And if I keep walking, then I'm not interested. But if I'm like, yeah, that didn't really sound like you. What's going on?
Yes.
Okay, now we've opened up, and now we can actually get to the deep root of that issue.
Yes. And I remember one time in the coffee shop, I don't know who I met, and I asked her, because I already know for energy-wise, our pickup, she's not having a great day. But usually you can't just say, hey, you don't have a great day, right? Like I said, how are you today? She said, I'm doing good. I was like, I look into her eyes, I look into my eyes.
Yeah.
For 1 second, and how are you really? I'm not just asking. I'm asking is because I care.
Right.
Then she just literally that moment is broke. Meltdown moment is meltdown, broke down, whatever, however you call it. Is like she start crying, because we are so in the daily life. I mean, in the Army is really like different. Everybody, I feel like you guys, the good part is really strength part. You guys build a really good relationship, strengths, right? Because you literally see each other every day, training every day. You sleep next to each other, whatever. Like wherever you stay. So the relationship is really close. You literally can know that something is different because you know this being.
Yes.
And like in daily life, we're still practicing just being present with people and really care, not just say, hey, how are you today? It's really, how are you today?
Right.
And I'm here to not just ask you surface level, but I'm also here to listen. And thanks for touching on those bases, because like people cannot imagine what is the life being in the Army. I cannot. My dad would tell me something happened when in his but total different country, total different generation. And I just want people to have a little bit of understanding of, like, as a family who are supporting family members in the Army, but all as the people who are in service, we have a lot of things that are out of control, you cannot control. And being human, even though I feel like, yes sir, no sir, like, also we watched another movie of like emotion expression wise, like to the point you train to, maybe you can tell me wrong, like because you are really still in the field and you were in so many different, like missions all there. How's people's emotional expression? Do you feel that there's certain things that we definitely can work on to help the people? Because like 17, 18, you going to training, it's like, I feel like a certain way that I can't even not say, brain certain thing, but you are rewiring people's brain in certain way, because their first job reaction is, I'm in service. Yeah. I'm a soldier. Yeah. Then I'm somebody's, husband and wife, somebody's mom and dad, but first thing is I'm a soldier, I'm in service. So how that shaped their mentality, if you can touch on it a little bit, if you feel comfortable.
Yeah, that is a loaded question too. So you're absolutely right. Everyone goes in very young, and for the most part, does it happen? Someone will come in older, but that's the few and far between. For the most part, you're looking at basic training. You got a ton of 18-year-olds that have never left the house before, never left their state before, and now they're thrown into this mix of like 60 other people that are very similar in age, or and from all over the country. So you get different accents, you get different personalities. And it's been a blast. I've met some amazing people over the years. Yes. But, we are all on zero. We're all on day zero. We're all on, stage one. We all show up to the building. We see it empty and ready to be occupied. And we're all getting yelled at by those drill sergeants. Move faster, because nobody's moving fast enough for them. You got to move your bag from one side of the building to the other side of the building. And let me tell you what, you're never going to make it on time. You're going to fail. They want you to fail.
Because that's the point.
That's the point. They want to break everybody down.
Yes, that's the thing is like, I let you continue now. I understand why it's so brutal, because they are extend your limits. That's why you're in Army training, because you guys are on the front line. When things happen, you don't have time to think about it. You just have to build it in, just like this, not thinking about, okay, let me step away to think about it. No, you don't have, right? That's the push the limit. That's right. Okay, now thank you for explaining that, because a lot of people don't understand why people, those surgeons or those trainers being such a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. And, you look back and laugh, but at the time you're sweating and you're just like, man, why isn't this good enough? I'm so tired. But like at the end of the day, they need to break everybody down and put everyone on the same level. And on the flip side, so you got to remember too, even though as stressful and as bad and as what a terrible day this is right now, there's other times that you're going to see where there's a situation that's going to be worse. And we have it so good, especially here today, being able to wake up and go and tomato skate to my building and make my coffee that I spill over, and have our podcast here. And I love this.
Yes.
But I'll never forget something that keeps me humble. It's one of the stories of my first appointments. We're on a convoy just driving through Iraq, and there's a lot of these mud houses. And I remember this mom in full garb, and she's just completely covered. She's out farming, or she's just out in the front of the house, and the kids are waving. They're like, Americans, and they were waving. They're like, yes, hi, and we're waving back. And the mom just decides to pick up like rocks, dirt, whatever it was, and starts wailing it at the kids. Get in the house. Wow. Granted, I couldn't hear, but like that's obviously what was going on. Like, throwing the rocks, pointing at the house, telling them to get inside, because A, she doesn't know something's going to happen, so I can understand that fear aspect of her, but B, maybe that there's someone else watching, like, are you helping them? Are you part of the Americans? Are you going to turn on us? So it was a very scary moment, but for her, and then for me to just see all that, like, wow, I guess when I think I have a bad day, do I really have a bad day, or am I just having a bad moment? Because for me to want to throw rocks at my kids, like that would be crazy.
That doesn't need to be some, surviving instinct is like, you are throwing in the rocks, so it's really serious.
Right?
There is no, like I can talk to you right now in a nice way to help you understand this is now I want that get down, you get in.
Right.
Now.
Yes.
Right? So, but for the kids, on the flip side is like, those kids are living in the stress as well, living in the surviving mode. So but the kids has the natural of the pure innocence in their,
right.
They actually don't know, like they think everybody, that's why we try to bring to this essence is like see the good inside people's heart, right?
Right.
And then I want to bring back to those young, when you were young, when people are young, like people, in the training to break it down. Like I feel like it must be a turning point, because even though you understand we need to break it down to put you back together, it's a remodeling, like a remolding process. So, we already talk about it, like certain parts, like do not ever think you do things alone, right? Especially in this, concentrated, it's you don't have much access of outside. You are training for this specific reason, right? To be in the service. So for the people in there, that must be a turning point to really, at the beginning, say, oh yeah, you tell me that we need to break it down because for me to bear service. I think as we are young, 17, 18, even for people 25, 35, still to the point is like, you hear what people telling you versus right. You accept that's the process. It's a growth process. So, to your experience, when was the point is like you realize that, I chose this. This is the steps that I'm going through. Then I know I'm going to survive. I don't know how I'm going to survive, but I'm going to not say survive. I'm going to go get through this. So what is the turning point?
You start to see the organization. So in the military, especially in the basic training, right? You show up in buses and you're talking hundreds of people, and we're all brand new. We're all young soldiers. We all get the same haircut. We all get the same uniform, and we're all just standing there, right? And we get yelled at, and we have to go through our training. But then you start to realize that you take those hundreds of soldiers and you start breaking them into companies. You have Alpha Company, you have Bravo Company, you have Charlie Company. Yeah. So let's take Bravo Company. Now you got Bravo Company, and you got first platoon, second platoon, third platoon. Okay. And then once you start to become who you are, so if I was Bravo Company, second platoon, now these 60 or these 59 other brothers and sisters, this is my new family. And we're going to go through everything together. We're going to go through the obstacle course together. We're going to go through the tear gas together. We're going to go through a rifle qualification together. And then we're going to go through graduation, or through the field exercise and ruck marches, and then we'll go through graduation together. Yeah. And so once you start to realize like who you are, these are my crew, these are my brothers and sisters, we're going to get through this together.
So it's like, can I say just that you find a sense of a purpose, you have more clear of where you're leading to, because through training you also know what is your strengths, right? Like, you know, oh, I'm actually pretty good at that. When you under stress break it down, you really see your true potential inside of you, because if you don't break it down, you don't know how powerful you are. Right? How powerful you are. So at this moment, you know, because I'm following the way your storyline, I realize that is that what you're saying, that when you truly know who you are, and once you in different department, because our team, you know, however this category you just said, you realize that, oh, I'm a part in this specific different group, but we are all in one, but I'm there is because that's my strength. That's what's the best path for me as a moment, because it's not just you choose. Everybody through the training, everybody agree that that's your spot. And with this team, you move through together. That's change your mindset is, oh, I train for certain direction in my life, in this how I serve. Not everybody, of course, you can't come in. The gate is open, right? All the chickens, all the ducks, right? But then you realize some are roosters. Some hen, like, I'm not saying just which one's good or bad, but that's how I see is that you start to see, oh, my job is 5 a.m. wake up everybody. And my job is here to make sure everybody fed. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for helping me understand it, because I was like, what's the meaning for that? Or what's the purpose for that? Now I see the purpose. Okay, great. That's great. Now,
and everybody has their different strengths and weaknesses, right? You know, so like you said, we do this thing called fire watch, where you know you have to stay up overnight just to make sure that there's no fire, right? It's something from the tents, but we bring it over to the buildings, and you know, you take turns doing fire guard, you take turns doing CQ, me, you're like the admin person at the desk, but you know, sometimes you're gonna take off shifts, or you know, you might work with your buddy like, hey, you know what? You need your sleep. I'm good if I get less sleep, so I'll take your turn. I'll do the 2, but then tomorrow you're going to do my laundry. Or like I happen from my mom, those life skills, I knew how to sew, so I could sew on buttons. And you know, in order to get buttons, and I would get like phone cards, you know. So there's always like an exchange, you know, for strengths and weaknesses, and you use each other like in a good way to get through the end goal, which is graduation.
Now like you give me the, you know, of course I know a little bit of Army, you know, obviously I think after you break it down, I really see it as a teamwork. It's a big teamwork. If you want to be working on your teamwork skill, join the Army.
That's right.
Go to
join today.
We are recruiting.
I
can't be a recruiter in the future. If you want to, then I need to go to the Army. I'm like literally like no teamworking is not everybody comfortable with. Trust me. A lot of people are lone wolf, right? They are very good at just say, you know, even myself, like from where I come from, and I have this totally freedom to decide what I want to do, and because my mind is just go this, and sometimes it's hard for people to follow me, my mind. So I was like, I'm the only person catch myself. So okay, this. But now for a lot of projects, you know, like when we talk about business part, we were going to talk about the teamwork and how your team put together. But before that, that's another area that's also podcast is one thing that I serve in community. You know, you also know I have healing practice and also the nonprofit organization. But big part I want to support those like veterans, especially they already back. You know, they are, what's the term you guys proper say? Like when they like one day they like out of the force, they become back to
civilians.
They're back to civilians. And I know, because I personally encounter some veterans, you know, some of them, they are doing great. Some of them are they're not doing so great. Some of people holding on a lot of the trauma in the service, and because of they go to different country, right, going through some war or some things. And certain people are, like you said, 17, 18 years old, got out there, being out there for a couple of years, even though they come back in and out, but they kind of missed. You're like, you chose to have the time in that, right? But also, when you choose this, you lose that. That's inevitable.
That's it.
Right? That's it. So now when they reconnect with the 3D life, normal civilian life, you know, because you are in and out, obviously you're doing great. You know, like your essence, everything is like, that's why I need to interview you, because you represent this group of people that's doing awesome and
Thank you.
like still move through life with a lot of smiling and see the negative, even though there's no negative part, but see those challenging part as opportunity to grow you. So I want to touch on those part that for the people that you want to help people, right? I want to help people. Like when we support the people, like some are those traumas. Like let's talk about that a little bit too. Like what are some major traumas could leave big scar on people that people are still working on?
Sure. So that is very difficult. And, you know, something that's made me successful from the military was learning to lead and to follow. You know, you can't always be the boss, and sometimes, you know, you can't always just be third man, third row, meaning, right? Alpha company, Bravo company, Charlie company.
Okay.
And then first platoon, second platoon, third platoon, second platoon, first squad, second squad, third squad, fourth squad.
Okay.
So you got 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, right? You know,
Yes.
In that squad, now you're even a smaller element, and you have a squad leader. And that's the guy or girl on the right. That is the leader. And then there's usually section sergeants in the middle too. But that is the mom or dad, if you will. If you have a pay issue, you go to the squad leader. They take care of it. You got to go to sick call. You let them know. They make sure that you got a ride and make sure that you come back. So you have someone that's able to help you out. When you get out of the military, you don't get that here. And, you know, I think you see that a lot with, you know, spouses and relationships, because you have to lead and you have to follow. Sometimes it's okay to be like, you know what, I want to go to Outback tonight.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like, whatever. Yeah. You want to do PB&Js, we'll do PB&Js. And you have to have that balance of back and forth. But when you don't know how to turn that on and off, you think you always have to be one or you always have to be the other. Well, that's just not true. Again, you have to ask for help. Yeah. You know, like for me, coming off of my first tour, it was really tough, because during that time, there's certain events that you miss. There are friends that, and I don't mean to be sad here, but there are friends that just don't make it. So when you're overseas, you see funerals come through of people that you knew, and now you know you'll never be able to see them again, and you won't get to say goodbye. So there's nothing you can do about it. You can't go to the funeral. You can't say anything to the family. All you can do is when you go home, you can go visit their grave, and it's like, it's really sad. But you know, there's certain people that I never got to say goodbye to, and I still hold that. But it's you know, you get to go say goodbye still today. But you know, that part is hard. And then there's weddings that you miss. So there's those happy moments that you get to miss. I almost missed my sister's wedding, and I kind of escalated that past my squad leader, past my platoon sergeant. I went all the way up to the top, and I was able to take my 2-week leave and come home and be with my sister's wedding, because that was a really big deal for me. But had I missed that, you know, and not everyone gets that opportunity, so they get to miss those kind of things. But you just have to ask for help. So it took me, after I got home, it took me probably 14 months to actually go and start seeing a psychiatrist. Be like, hey, listen, let me start talking about some of these things that are deep down, and that really helped me just to start coming to my own, get out of my head, and actually have someone to talk to start looking positive again, and getting that positivity back.
Yeah. So now, as you guys, you know, went back to the civilian, is there a service out there that they always can access to?
Always. Yep.
Always.
Yep.
Okay. So it's matter factors whether this person decide to choose or not, because you cannot force them, right? Is that not you have to go through 3 months of things before you go back to the It's just, it's there, but you need to initiate.
They have to accept, this is what I want to do.
Okay, so
and that's it.
Okay, that's the point I want to kind of get clear, is because, like, you know, obviously some of the gentlemen that I encounter, like, you know, I'm not even talking about a specific thing. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. Like what thing I do. People ask me what you do. I was like, well, I'm mainly working on people's trauma and inner child healing and certain things. Then you can tell that their thoughts is already went to when they heard certain words is there. And I know that's to me means that some incomplete is not, not incomplete emotions. They are still there like you talking about miss the moment.
They are.
Doesn't matter it's happy moments or sad moments. The regret, the thing they feel like they should be there, but they could not be there, and they probably have self-blame, self-judgment, you know, and a lot of things, anger, whatever is going there.
Yeah.
So that's the part that, you know, obviously, like you said, they needed to seek the support all there. It's not support not there. I think, you know, the country have the armies, the soldiers to support the country. The country had built all the system to support the veterans, right? Doesn't matter you are in service or not in service. As a matter of fact, it's like, are you give yourself permission to ask help? And back to the original you were talking about, when you just go in 17, 18, you need to know how to ask help, right?
Yeah.
When you come out of the service, how to ask help. Of course, they're not going to be specific, like very clear. No, the girl, the boy, the man, or you know, like your teammates, they are there, but they are in the society. They are indifferent.
Yeah.
You actually need to ask help, or whoever is just like you to be vocalized, right? To really ask help in the community, and also like, you know, as we are here in this community, we are doing a lot of the event services, you know, try to, you know, catch up a little bit, understand what it feels like to be in the Army, because we are not, but also we want to help.
Right.
Just like you help us, we help you, because we are all together, right? Just like, you know, the society is a bigger version of Army, right?
Yes.
We are the one that back there just make sure everybody is emotionally, physically safe and happy and spiritually as well, right?
Absolutely.
So now those are the moments we miss, and you know, I did not mean, or I'm not meant to kind of bring up those traumatic moments, but let's talk about those hardest moments. You know, is there any war in different country you went that you think, you know, you experienced that, and you know that that's something probably is hard to shake off, even though we go to see psychiatrists. That's certain things is deeply imprinted into your, like, it's a mark. Sorry to interrupt the conversation. We spent lots of time and energy to bring those episodes to the public. To best support this podcast is to share with someone you think they would like those stories, and take a few minutes to leave us a positive review on the podcast platform that you are listening on. And do not forget to subscribe this podcast for the future episodes notifications. Thank you, and let's back to the conversation.
You're always going to have marks, whether you're in the civilian world or in the military world. There's always going to be those moments that you'll never forget. So, and I want to clarify too, even if you're not in the military, you can still get PTSD. There's still significant events that happen in the civilian world. You know, a lot of people think, well, I was never in the military, so I'm not allowed to be depressed, or I'm not allowed to be sad. Like, no, there's no one to say, oh, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be happy. Like, no, everything is all you, and you are the controller of your happiness or of your sadness. And you have to go get help one way or the other. Even if you're happy and you're go-lucky, go talk to people, hang out with people. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. I can't make this successful without other people. I can't. You know, I've got my employees, and they're fantastic, you know, and you know, without Ryan, you know, it was 1997, you know, without him calling me and saying, hey, you know, they got these cool skateboards at Meyer, you know, you should go check it out. I wouldn't be here today. So you never know what's going to stem in the future from your actions today. And to bring that back to like the sadness, if you're ever debating suicide, not to get really deep here, but like that is one thing that we take very serious. And it does not matter what rank you are. It doesn't matter if you're day one in the Army. It doesn't matter if you're day 40 years in the Army, right? If you call us and say, I'm going to hurt myself, we're going to stay on the phone with you. We're going to help you through. We're going to call the authorities. We're going to get someone there. We're going to be on our way. We're going to come see you. We're going to physically touch you and be like, hey, or, you know, put my arm around you and be like, let's go, man. And let's go and get you the help that you need. Because there's no need to do that. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It really is. And I have had those calls. I've had those late night calls. Listen, I got you. Talk to me. What's going on? So, hey, you know, how was your niece's birthday? I saw you on the Facebook doing that. You know, you got to talk about those other events. But, you know, it's just those one day moments. Don't pursue it. Call somebody.
I really thank you for bringing up that no differences between, civilian or, people in service, because like you said, I never been in the army. I went through full on whatever.
Right.
We're all going through that. So thanks for pointing that out, because we're not mean here to point just being people in the army have this, going through trauma. We as, that's why I'm still doing, because a lot of healing work is not just like you're dead done. They come up when it's time to come up because of different layers.
Right.
So it's, like people have PTSD. They doesn't need to be in army to have that.
No.
And a lot of people in the daily life, we going through this trauma moments, Mark. And then thanks for, to not just separate people, because when we ask certain questions, sounds like just specific for that group of people. But yes, we all going through different trauma. They have different marks, have different scars.
Yes.
And how we lean into the healing is when we realize that we are not meant to be here for one person to survive. We have the community, and that's why we intentionally build the community, but also bring the awareness that, hey, it's okay to share with people, but also the people, who you obviously feel safe, feel trusted, the profession, and some good friends, like you really mentioned, that somebody always there. You have it, but sometimes when we in this depression mood, you feel like you are the hole in your own pit hole. That nobody's care about you.
Right.
It's so dark pit hole that I went through that, so I can talk about it. I literally had it. Now, because I can talk about this, because I want to tell people, say, hey, like you said, doesn't mean you're day 1 or day 40 years in. Mm-hmm. People always think I'm very, I am. I'm very outgoing. I'm, laugh, play, whatever thing, but doesn't mean I've never been there before. I've been there. And actually only 5 years ago, I will reach to this darkness. It's just like, somehow it's just like life, people see outside of you, everything's perfect. But somehow inside of me, there's something is not clicking. But the thing doesn't click until to that moment of the choice you choose. Is like, the deep question is why I'm here, who I am. And that was, but for me to get there, it's something has to put me there, like the stress, you need to break down that. But God knows sometimes have this faith is like, you're going to get through. You're going to get through. Sometimes get really shitty, get really dark. Yeah. However, you are here for a reason. And a lot of time, maybe sometimes one person smile, one person's a word.
That's it.
And it gives you say, wow, that is actually beautiful. No, I'm going to choose this way, right?
Yes.
So it's just like, and also remind ourselves, because we've been there before. That's why your presence matters.
Yes.
That's why you move through life. The smile you give other people, you have no idea.
You have no idea.
You might save people's life.
Yes.
Right? The words you say to you, like, wow, your hair so beautiful, I really like your something, you might save somebody.
Yes.
So be kind to yourself. Yeah. Because if you cannot kind to yourself, when you move through life, people see you sad, you might gonna trigger other people's sadness, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
We are this ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So really beautiful. Now we're gonna talk about this Ryan, right? So back to 1997, back to the community we are in right here in Bay City, and so obviously, but I want you to tell us what made you to open this skateboard and this location, and what made you feel that, your audience, like basically people come to this shop, right? So tell us a little bit about it.
So let me talk about corporate AJ for a second.
Yes.
So I always like to pursue my dreams, and I always tell others that I'm working with, like, if they want to go into childcare, go into childcare. You want to go into finance, go into finance. Yes. So I started in a local sales store here, and they did this. The company I worked for did like this destination store in the Mall of America, and I thought that was so cool. Yeah. And then they opened up one in Chicago. I'm like, well, if I don't apply, then I'm a hypocrite. Like, that's something I really want to go do. So I at least got to try. If they don't want me, that's on them. But I gotta try.
Yes.
And so I tried, and I went and I interviewed, and I got hired on the spot, and kind of the rest is history. But I got really absorbed into my work, and I got really absorbed into Excel and Microsoft PowerPoint. And over time, your energy starts to go down, 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 down. Next thing you know, I'm so focused into work, I'm doing dinners, and I'm on the phone call. I'm on a phone bridge all night long, and I'm just eating, and I'm just watching the person I'm with, just listen. Yep, I'm here. Okay, yep. Here's the update, and then I'm in the office till 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it was like, I don't know, my 34th or 35th birthday. And I'm sitting in the office till midnight. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? This is not a way to live. So I go online.
That's the moment I'm talking about.
That is the moment. Yes. I decide to, you know what? I really like skateboarding. There's a skate park really close here. Maybe it'll get me out of the office. I can skate there. Yeah. And so I ordered the skateboard and some new shoes. And, who doesn't love new shoes, right?
Right.
But I don't know. And I go to the skate park, and I'm just starting to do my old tricks that I started to do back when I was 16, and nothing big, just focusing on me, feeling like I'm getting judged by all the 16-year-olds, but I don't really care. Like, I'm in my 1990s baggy jeans and, holy shirt, whatever, but whatever. I'm just the old guy over here. Just leave me alone. Yeah. But next thing you know, I start picking up on it, and I start seeing some younger kids that are kind of struggling. I'm like, well, hey, man, just tweak this, or just put your foot here, or here, give me your hand, go for it. All right, good job, fist bump. And next thing you know, I started doing that. Sorry. But I started doing that more and more and more. And, these parents were like, oh, you're really good with kids. Like, here's some money. I'm like, no, I don't want any money. Like, just bring me a Gatorade next time you're here. I'm here usually every Saturday or Sunday, whatever. And it started to become a thing, and I started to seeing these same kids over and over and over. And in every skate park, I started to become like the skate park dad, like controlling the flow. Okay, you go. All right, you go now. All right, you come back. All right, now you come on. And I was just controlling the environment. I'm like, I really love skateboarding, and you know what?
And people like too.
Yes. Yes. This is what I need to do for a living. Love it. Yes. Wow,
that's so beautiful. We always say that universe always, it's like it's not you find a purpose find you.
Right.
I think your example is literally, actually everybody is, when you really look back, those in the moments is like people find you, purpose find you. When you in the moment really enjoy what you love doing that, that's the energy, and you're attracting. Right? And people will give you money. You're not even, that's not in your mind. You're not even thinking about it. But then you're like, oh, if I'm being here, parents are willing to pay, well, maybe I have a place so they can have proper training so I can earn the money with the work I put in now because you are in the position. Right. But that gives you the idea, oh, whoa, yeah, that's great. So it's a purpose finding you. That's so beautiful.
Yes.
So
it's one of those sentences you hear all the time, especially if you felt like Gary Vee. You hear all the positivity and just do what you love. And but they always say, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. And I always thought that was just one of those things you said.
It's actually, now you are living.
I found it. I actually found it, and it's beautiful.
That's the thing. Yes. That's why I was like, okay. I always say healing work, but I was no. This is not my work. I don't call the people come to me. They're my clients, but I don't have a better word. I always say they are my soul brother, soul sister. Yeah. They're doing healing work with me. We cry, right? We're processing. Then later we just play the things. We start laughing, and then we go out to dinner with them. But I was like, to me, I was like, this you're not my client, but I don't have better word for that to put it in. But I always say, I work with you. Yeah. Because I work with them because they, like, we all have the answer. Like before the beginning, you said, who knows yourself better? You. But
That's right. Thing is, no one knows you better.
Exactly. But the thing is, sometimes we are in it. Like it's drinking the coffee from the cup. I don't know what you're drinking. Right. That's us in it. But then I was, okay, you tell me about how this tastes. Describe it. I was like, oh, you are drinking coffee. Do you know that? So. Right. A lot of time we already have the answer. We already have key as a healer, as a psychiatrist or whatever. We actually support the person are processing. We being a mirror. Yeah. Like so, by you talking that, like you said at the beginning, by you talking it, you literally talk yourself into something or out of something. Yes. But the container need to be safe, clear. Yes. Feel that I have permission. I can feel safe to allow things come out to complete that process. So you're like, oh yeah, wow, thank you for listening. Actually. Oh, thank you for helping me. Actually, I didn't help at all. Not didn't help at all. I didn't do much.
You just let them talk.
The presence there, right? But also different healing modality will be different. Some are more, the talk therapy, but some are something happening in our subconscious that is harder for us to retrieve that memory because it's in your subconscious. We just do that automatically in autopilot. Mm-hmm. So that's our different healing modality, but we're not going to go there. So back to the skateboard shop. So how long you been in this community, like for the skate shop? Skateboard shop.
I opened up August 16th, so I haven't been open even like half a year yet. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So
yes. August 16th.
So literally when I met you guys.
Brand new.
Well, I think that's the energy already anchored. I love how the way, you're smiling, not say people not smiling, but that we're talking about your energy,
yes.
right? Your energy attracting people in your life. And I think that's, that's why a lot of kids probably come here, parents too, really love, not just love the skateboard shop, it's you.
It's the environment.
And
absolutely.
your teamwork, team, because they are, let's talk about your team. Okay, Ryan, obviously he,
All right, so there's two things I learned in business school when I went to Delta for my associates back in the day. One was location. So check.
Yes.
And two was with the Hawthorne experiments was you can't force anybody to work, but you can create an environment in which they want to work.
Yeah.
That has been my goal. Yeah. I've had good bosses, I've had bad bosses. And you got to take away the good and bad out of both of them.
They teach you different lessons.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So I try to really create a positive environment here. Yeah. If you're not going to fit, let's move on.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
it's okay.
I take care of my team. Like, I always hate like business say, we're a family here, but we are. And at the end of the day, like Brian and I, we started skateboarding a long time ago. We started with going to the parking lots, and if there was like a 4x4 square foot of cement, we were skateboarding it. Not that we were good, but it doesn't matter. We were creating those memories. We were learning to alley, we were learning to board slide, learning to 50-50, all these little tricks that we still do and use today, which is phenomenal. So we have that. And then opening up and building up, I also had Tom Davenport. And Tom and I started drumming together since 6th grade. So
wow.
And we started skateboarding through high school. And I love Facebook that says like 12 years ago, you and Tom Davenport were skateboarding out in Bay City. Like, I remember that day. It's like, look, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
And then I've got during the build process, one of my younger kids, Cole, he's in high school and he helped build and he's just still kind of staying around like, Cole, you want to just stay on? Oh, yeah, I would love that. So I've kept him here, and I try to teach him things about the business because he's gonna go and do great things. Like I am so excited to see Cole's future. Like I don't know what's in store, but it's gonna be great because he's just a bright kid. He's gonna just excel, and I don't know. Maybe he'll create 5 more major skates. I don't know, but I love that potential. So I continue to try to grow and develop him as much as I can, just to try to teach him like more than just a job. Like here's some life skills. Yes.
Be the mentor, right?
Yes.
Be the good, not say good boss, but pass on those things that they can incorporate in their own development later. Because you have no idea. Some people working for the company for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but when you start, always ending.
Right.
I always tell people that the moment I meet you, which means the moment I'm not gonna be in your presence, right? You never meet, you never be together, you never separate.
Right.
When people working with us a lot of time, it's like we are, I think, relates back to the good parts, wise, to see people's potential, intentionally guide them, but also, sharing things with them. It's like a mentoring. It's not like a boss, like a leadership. Like literally, when I'm in my young 20s, I don't think I quite understand. I did not understand the difference between boss and a leader.
Yeah.
I was a bad boss,
that's
probably.
Big.
But then later now, like I feel like I was, no, it's not boss. Of course we could say, just be the badass, not boss. Like now as the leader, how can I be a leader, not a boss?
Right.
It's cool to say boss, but it's actually really good to be a leader. To feel good to be a leader. So.
And what's weird is it's tough and it's difficult, but you have to be both.
Yes.
And as much as I would have loved to have done this when I was 22, there's no way I could have had some of these tough conversations. There's no way I could have done payroll. There's no way that I could have actually made some of these decisions. And everybody, I mean this nice, everybody wants your money. Like especially like marketers or advertisers. Like, hey, you come spend with us. Like.
Yes.
I can't give everybody money that asks. Like, so you have to be able to manage that. You have to be able to control. You have to be able to say no.
Make decisions, right?
Yes. Saying no is so important sometimes. Saying yes is great. Saying no is just as good. And I think that's it too with one of my other employees, Sean. Last but not least here, he is. Oh my good kid. He went to Cali, and he just phenomenally grew with skateboarding. And to have him come back and bring all that knowledge and experience has been great, for us to improve our lessons the way that we teach, because I've taken a lot of things from Sean. And then, as far as like the way he skates and just the flow and the style, like he's my kid that's going to go great, and we're going to get him into bigger competitions and go nationwide and get him pro and move up. And like that's my goal, is to see people rise out of major skate, and he will be one of them.
Well, let's now talk about the things you brought up, is bring kids to those competitions, things like that. But I think you probably have a big plan for people coming here for different purpose, right?
I do.
They come, some are like goofing around, having fun, the like beginner level. Some of you intentionally train them because you see their potential. You know that where they could go if they make their mind, right? Yes. So like you're back to training in the army, right? You're like. That's right. Well, hopefully not break them down to build them up. But yeah, share us a little bit of how, what's your vision or what's currently, in the service right here.
Yes, of course. So I love Bay City. I was born and raised in Bay City. I love Bay City. And as skateboarding has gotten a lot of attention lately, you got Sky Brown, who got the the Olympic medal in the Olympics at the age of 13. She got gold, first place in X Games at the age of 12. There's no reason that you can't have the next big star come out of Bay City. It may not be today or tomorrow, but my end goal is I want to work with the city, and I want to improve our skate park, which I helped design way back when, probably 2000. So I mean, that's an aged skate park over there, but it's still good.
Yes.
And I want to improve it. I want to build on it, and I would also love to do a pump track, because a pump track is very community-based. You can bring bikes on it, rollerblades, roller skates, scooters, and of course skateboards and longboards, But, that's so fun, and that would attract other people from the state of Michigan. There's no other thing like that, and I want, awesome pump track. I don't want just a puny one. I want 3 different layers, or you can go back and forth, different flows, huge, so many people can ride at the same time.
Yes.
I want the state of Michigan, I want other states to come in and do this pump track.
Yes.
So in addition to the skate park, I want additions to the pump track, and then I want to start doing scholarships. So in Pennsylvania, there's this place called Woodward. It's Disney World for skateboarders. If you're a teenager and you're a skateboard, Woodward is oh man, that is the skate camp of choice. And I want to be able to start doing sponsorships to send a child or two to Woodward every year.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's, wow. Do not ever underestimate something, start from small. They all start from a spark.
That's right.
Is it?
Yep. And people will tell you can't. People will tell you why you shouldn't. People will tell you that there's no way that it can be done.
The thing is, you never try. You never know.
You just do it.
Exactly, right? So it's really, if we really want to encourage people, it doesn't matter young kids or people, and because we all have the special hats we wear. And for the as in service, right? Being service, you in service in both in civilian or in the army, but you have special message. People look at you. We all have different essence, different energy to spread to the community, right?
Yeah.
To know that, to connect with their, to serve, serve your different gift, bring people together. It's actually, you got to do it. You got to do it. Do the things which you love.
Yes.
And we really could go back, because you already answered the question I was going to ask is, for the people out of, when they become civilian, how they can integrate with their life is you already shared it. It's do the things you love.
Yes.
Make you happy.
Yeah.
Make you bring that smile back on your face. It might gonna take a little bit while, but the thing is you always know what you really love. They already with you. The matter fact is are you aware? Are you, do you think, because like you said, you play, probably start very young, this sport's been in your whole life.
Yeah.
But you never would have thought, if I tell you when you're 17, say, hey, AJ, when you in 20 years, you're gonna have a skateboard shop, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I would have seen my son do something bigger or something, whatever the vision is, right?
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, literally, we still back to those things that really make your heart open, make you smile. And I was like, if you ask me what I want to do when I was a little kid, I tell people I want to help people. Because people literally, I always thought about back that, I go way back when I'm 5, 6 years old. That was my answer. But I did not know how to help people.
No.
What I was meaning, I don't know.
No idea.
But that's a feeling of that, I will always take older people out to walk, I would like to listen to their story. It makes sense now I'm doing podcasting, right?
Yeah.
To ask their story. But I was like, why I'm so into this group of people, why I have the patience at 5-6 years old to spend hours with them. That must be something. Mm-hmm. Now later I understand, and now the more I'm doing the work I'm doing, like literally I'm holding space for people. Listen, even though I can talk, but that you need to get a conversation going, right?
Yeah.
That's the skill.
Yes.
That's the community skill.
Yes.
So it's really, so beautiful. Being training people here and have the bigger vision and brings this community, not just you.
Right.
Us.
Yes.
And is that back to that actually in the service, in the Army, is actually the team as a collective, right? Yes. Army cannot say, oh, you are the superhero. Yeah. We watched the movie, right?
Right.
Captain America.
That's different. Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a take an army, they move forward together as this bigger arrow. I see the bigger arrow pointing there, right? The rack, this and that. It's not just one person.
And that's the tough too, is like in the military, you have this mindset that even if you are the hero, quote unquote, whether you take that call and you walk somebody, to a clinic, or whether you get your troops rewarded and they get the highest awards, or you you make the mission get done. Like there's a lot of those unsung heroes. It's just another day. You just do what you do. You don't need credit. You don't need you don't need to be like on my pedestal. Yeah, that was all me.
That's the humble part, is it?
Yep. You just be you. You just do what you need to do. You're gonna make mistakes along the way. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't even.
That's also another day.
Yes.
When you make a mistake, that's another day. When you be the reward, the honor, the highest, that's also another day.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. That's another day.
Yep.
Right. The high and low, I'm riding with it. High and low, I'm riding with it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, beautiful. I think we can wrap up here and then share with us how people can reach out to you and maybe general service hour and how people can find you. Yes.
So of course, majorskate.us, www.majorskate.us is our website. And then on Instagram we are Major Skate Shop, and then Facebook is Major Skate Bay City. And I am very personable. Stop on by 106 South Lynn Street, Suite C. I'd love to see you. I'd love to show you the ramps. I'll even get you on a board, show you how to step on and step off of a board, and even maybe get you down a hill or two.
Are we going to try today?
We can, absolutely. Okay. Yes.
Now I'm getting nervous about that.
No. No, it'll be safe. It will be good.
Okay, yeah. Well, then thanks, AJ, for
Thank you.
Having me here and also allow me to really be here to hold a space for not both you and me.
Thank you.
For this beautiful your story, and your story is unfolding and a lot of things in making, right?
Yes.
You just started in 2022 and 2023. I tell everybody, 2023 is epic. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to. It's epic.
It will, absolutely.
And our vision gonna land somehow, somewhere.
Yes.
We don't know how, but like one day at a time, right? One moment at a time. And thank you guys for tuning into this podcast, with AJ here. And one moment at a time, one episode at a time. And thank you for your support. And I will see you next episode.
All right,
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Unity Through Diversity. I will see you in next episode coming soon. Take care, and I love you.